Hey, welcome back. You're in the C Space Studio, sponsored by Integral Ad Science. We're here at CES 2025. I am James Kotecki, and joining me is Josh Feldman, Chief Marketing Officer of NBC Universal Advertising and Partnerships. Matt, to make sure I get
It's
your
a
title
mouthful.
right.
It's a mouthful.
NBC Universal, there's obviously a lot going on there. What's your message here at CES 2025?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me here, James. I appreciate it. So our message this year at CES, we're approaching actually our 100-year anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it at NBC. And the road, and that's in 2026. So the road leading up to that over the next 12 to 18 months is absolutely the biggest road that you could possibly imagine. Is the biggest live events that we've ever had. So we're out here talking about these major content plays. And when I say that, I'll try and do this in chronological order. We've got next month our SNL 50 celebration. SNL's turning 50.
I seem to remember it was just 40, and now it's 50.
Everybody says that. Like it seems like it was just yesterday because it was so exciting and fun. So yes, we have SNL 50 next month. And then coming this fall, we have the launch of our NBA partnership for the next season. Then we'll be back here in Las Vegas, actually, for the return of BravoCon in November.
Okay.
Then we have our holiday season, which is always huge at NBCU. We truly own the holiday season from there. But then as you get into the beginning of 2026, it gets really, really crazy. We have the Super Bowl, we have the Winter Olympics, and we have the NBA All-Star Weekend in a 2-week period all happening, which is really unbelievable. And then following up from that, we will have the WNBA season starting, and then the World Cup, Spanish language World Cup, all happening within the next 12 to 18 months.
So you've got a lot of great content.
We've got a lot of great content. So we're here at CES talking about that. We have content that's second to none, but also the blending of the ad tech and how we're democratizing that content for advertisers to all take part of it, no matter how large or small they are. So while we were out here, we made a really big announcement with Comcast around Universal Ads, which is an ad manager that is created for the premium content space specifically. And we announced this partnership, and there's, I think, 9 other premium video partners that are a part of it as well. So all of these advertisers now are able to take place and advertise, no matter how big or small they are, in these major events. And we kicked this off a couple of years ago. We did this programmatically in 2023 for the World Cup. We did it in 2024 for the Olympics. And now we are part of Universal Ads. So we're very excited for that.
And does the premium nature of the content kind of raise the bar in the sense for what the ad tech needs to be and what advertisers and brands really expect when they're dealing with you from that side?
Well, it allows brands that would never have ever been able to take place in things like the Olympics or the World Cup to advertise in it. We're talking about really, really small businesses, right? You've got social platforms that have millions and millions of advertisers out there where premium players have much less because in the past, these smaller local businesses, small and medium-sized businesses couldn't participate in that. But now with the advent of Universal Ads and some other things, they can for the first time. So the premium nature we know will give them better results. We've seen that research over the years, but they weren't really able to participate in the past.
And I imagine that there's a certain cachet, not only in reaching the number of people that you can reach through events like this, but also if it's in a small town and my ad was in the Super Bowl, then I get to kind of go around to my neighbors and people might actually resonate with that on another level as well.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
So talk to me about AI, I mean generative AI, if you want to go in that direction, and how that's fueling and playing a role in the ad tech that you're developing.
Right, so obviously AI, I mean everybody's talking about it here at CES. My personal take with AI is that I think we're investigating it in a way that it's helping us in the creative process. I think too many people think, from my world in the creative world, that AI is replacing the creative process or taking the place of humans making creative. But we're utilizing AI to help inform us, right? So we can now, skewer briefs way quicker utilizing AI. We can help us get ready to do things like storyboards way quicker utilizing AI. But at the end of the day, it's still gonna be the most important messaging an advertiser needs and a human that's connecting the dots on what the best creative is going to be, but we'll power those decisions in a quicker way utilizing AI. And I kind of view AI as like, this could be a really cheesy example, but you may have the most expensive, best camera in the world. You give that same exact camera to a professional photographer, or you give that same camera to me, who's not a professional photographer, you're not getting the same pictures out of it. You have to know how to utilize that camera. You need to know how to utilize AI to really make it work for you. It's not going to replace what we're doing on a daily basis.
And especially when you're talking about the kind of human-centered premium content that you're talking about, especially I'm guessing when it comes to sports, and it's hard to imagine generative AI, producing SNL 60, for example, even 10 years down the road. So these are all still things that are very human creative or human athletic, human celebrations of humanity, I suppose. And it would kind of feel weird if it was all generative AI ads around it.
I agree with you.
Talk about shopping and media to us a little bit. What's going on there at the intersection of shopping, media, and the content and advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it's exploding right now. We've been in this space for 5+ years now, and I think when we started it, people were kind of like, really? Do people want that? And now you're seeing that every publisher out there is trying to figure out what their commerce execution is going to be. So luckily we've had a nice head start and we've been able to test a lot of really, really interesting things. So whether that's things like virtual concessions, which is being able to order your food and drinks for your live events that we're talking about in real time, and we can do that from things like the Olympics where we rolled it out to holiday programming like the tree lighting that we did this year. We did a fantastic partnership with Walmart Connect where we're getting closed loop attribution data to see how we're actually affecting sales utilizing Walmart data, which is really, really amazing. And then we have something called Must Shop TV, which is that holy grail that everybody's been waiting for that whole time of being able to shop the shows that you're watching in real time and here we utilize AI for good, right? Because we're utilizing AI to scour episodes, see what products are there, and then be able to match it that you can buy either those exact products or lookalike products in real times with the click of a button. That's been the dream for everybody, and that just enhances the viewing experience. If you love the show you're watching, if you're watching your Bravo shows and you want to know what that swimsuit that your favorite person's wearing is, and being able to buy that in real time, that's the holy grail.
And I assume it works better on some kinds of content versus others, right? Like if it's at the tense, most dramatic moment of the show, I don't want to pause it and go buy the dress. I probably want to, but if it's maybe a more relaxed kind of casual watch, like a Bravo show, or sports that's just kind of ongoing, it makes sense to kind of shop in those moments.
You bring up a great point. We try and only execute commerce executions in contextually relevant moments, right? Like where it's going to add value to the overall viewing experience. So,
Talk to me about streaming and where you see the streaming world going in 2025.
Right. So I think it's going to go beyond just being called streaming. It's going to be the full entertainment hub that everybody wants for it, right? We just talked about being able to shop your shows in real time. You're going to see more interactivity in streaming than ever before, right? So if you're watching your favorite sporting event, to be able to do predictive, interactive things in real time. If you're watching, a reality show that somebody's getting voted off of, you can be a part of that process in real time. So it's going to go from just a streaming mechanism to a full entertainment hub that's going to, you can interactive, commerce, everything all in one, and I think that's going to be really exciting.
Is there something, technology or otherwise, outside of your space, outside of your day-to-day dealings, that inspires you and interests you as you think about innovating?
Yeah, so so not to get too deep here, I'll be very quick about this, but my son, he's fine. He's 14 years old, needed to have knee surgery recently. And they literally had to replace cartilage in his knee, and they grew new cartilage in a lab. That took them 3 weeks to grow, and then they cut it out and they replaced this cartilage in his knee to fix this. And my mind was blown away. We think we figured out Must Shop TV. This is great. And here they are growing cartilage in labs and figuring out. So I think the medical space, then I of course just went on a rabbit hole of just reading all these innovations in the medical space. What they're doing there is really unbelievable and mind blowing.
I like to think that the work that's happening at C Space is about the future of human connection. So I think that there is a lot of meaning to it, but you're right. I mean, the health space is continuing to explode. It's continuing to explode here at CES, and the future looks very bright from that perspective. So I'm glad you brought that up. Is there, before we go, you mentioned so many great pieces of content and so many great events that are coming up. Is there one particular thing under your content umbrella that you want to recommend to people, either that already exists or that will be coming very soon?
So something that's new, I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. But, I'll go with, we're here in Las Vegas. Let's talk about the return of BravoCon It's going to be phenomenal. If you're a Bravo-holic, we bring 30,000 fans from all over the world, not just the United States. They buy these tickets from all over the world to descend and hear what's going on with their favorite shows. If you've never been to BravoCon, I highly recommend you come because it is an experience like none other.
So that's totally not my world, but it sounds really interesting just to go as an anthropological experiment too, just to see a totally different set of culture.
The
and
best people watching you could possibly have.
A different experience. It sounds really fun. Yeah. Well, Josh Feldman, NBCUniversal, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we really appreciate you watching us right here on the C Space Studio stage from CES 2025. More conversations are just ahead. Stay with us.